What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today, for this video, I'll be ranking all the important Star Wars characters from episodes 1 through 9. Now, for this, I'll be ranking them purely on the movies, and I will not be factoring in TV shows like The Clone Wars or Rebels. While those TV shows do help improve characters, like specifically like Anakin and Maul, I'm not going to be referencing The Clone Wars and Rebels or other TV shows or other outside materials for this ranking. I'll be sticking purely to the movies. Also, in this ranking, obviously you have normal S to F, but I also have a couple other rows. So for characters I don't remember or I don't know where I put them, we'll go here. And also any repeat characters, like I know like young Han and old Han and like young Lando, old Luke, young old Leia will also go in this category as well. So let's begin. So first we have Anakin, who's the main character of the prequel trilogy, and then ultimately the first 6 movies, if you also consider him to be Darth Vader. But now Anakin really should be an S tier character, but the problem with Anakin movies is that Hayden Christensen just doesn't portray him well at all. His acting was just so bad in Attack of the Clones. His acting improved in Revenge of the Sith, but not worthy enough to put him at A or S tier. So when we factor in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith and combine them, put Anakin at B tier. Like I said, the Clone Wars significantly improved his character, but when we talk about just movies, he'll probably stick at B tier and probably not go higher. Next, you have Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is, in a lot of people's eyes, in some people's eyes, their favorite character in all of Star Wars, and I can understand why. He trained Anakin, he trained Luke, he was the first Jedi to defeat a Sith and Millennial, and I mean, he also was one of the few Jedi to survive Order 66. And plus, Ewan McGregor's acting in the prequels was one of the same graces with Obi-Wan, so factor in all that, Obi-Wan is actually going to go to S tier, the first character to go at S tier. Next, you have Qui-Gon. As I mentioned in my Star Wars ranking video, Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn was one of the redeeming qualities in the Phantom Menace I liked. But the problem with Qui-Gon is that he was, spoiler alert, he was killed in the Phantom Menace. So if he's also in Attack of the Clones: Revenge of the Sith, he would very well be S tier. But since he was only in one movie and he still did a good job portraying Qui-Gon, I'm gonna put Qui-Gon at B tier as well. I think he'll be on the same par as Anakin, but I'm not necessarily sure if I'll put him at A tier yet, since like I said, he was only in one movie. Next, we have Padme, portrayed by Natalie Portman. Just as Hayden Christensen's acting in Attack of the Clones, her acting was also atrocious, and she didn't like really improve as a character in Revenge of the Sith as well. I mean, her only like real significance to me was that she's obviously the mother of Luke and Leia. But if you take that L of it, she doesn't really add a whole lot to Star Wars, to the prequels. So I put Padme at C tier. I mean, I don't hate her as much as a lot of people do, but she's not that good of a character as well. Next, you have R2D2, everyone's favorite droid. I mean, what's there not to say about R2? He's been there for all 3 trilogies, and I mean, it's honestly unfortunate that he really didn't do much at all in the sequel trilogy. He was just there. Like if you took him out of it, nothing would change that much. But I mean, R2D2 held the plans to Death Star. I mean, he's R2. Like he went with Luke to train with Yoda, and I mean, there's not much more. So R2D2 goes to A tier. Next, we have C3PO. For this version of C3PO, we have the one that Anakin built in the Phantom Menace, like the unfinished version of C3PO. So I'm gonna put this version is gonna go in the repeat category, and I'm gonna have more to say about 3PO later. Next, you have Yoda. I mean, Yoda was the Grand Master of the Jedi Order before the rise of the Empire. Like Obi-Wan, he also survived Order 66. Now, when it comes to Yoda, I technically, if we're talking about original trilogy Yoda, he would go at A or maybe even S. But also, when it comes to prequel Yoda, I mean, I didn't find Yoda that likable in the prequels movies. But I mean, that's just me personally. He was better in the original trilogy. So overall, I mean, I understand why people put Yoda A or S tier, but for me, I'm gonna put Yoda B tier as well. He's A tier in the Phantom Menace. He's A tier in the original trilogy, but more like C tier in the prequel trilogy. Jar Jar, F. He's Jar Jar. There's nothing more to say. Next, we have Palpatine. I mean, Palpatine for the prequels, and we also have Emperor Palpatine, so he's gonna go in the repeat category. Next, we have Mace Windu, which I consider to be one of the most overrated characters in all of Star Wars. People mainly, brave out Mace Windu because he has a purple lightsaber, which is one of the few Jedi in all of Star Wars that has a purple lightsaber, and also because he's played by Samuel L. Jackson. If neither of those things happened, if Mace Windu had a regular colored lightsaber like blue or green, or it was portrayed by a different actor, people wouldn't care about him. But I mean, overall, I mean, I like Mace Windu for what he is. I mean, he was kind of a jerk to Anakin, but he did have a good reason to. So I'll put Mace Windu at C tier as well. Next, you have General Grievous. Now, in terms of a character, Grievous is not a good character, but I mean, me personally, I would put Grievous at A just because he's he looks so cool. He's like one of the more interesting looking characters in all of Star Wars. But in terms of character, he's just not that good. So as much as it pains me to say that, put him at C tier, I put Grievous at C tier. Next, you have Darth Maul. Now, if we're talking about Darth Maul in all of Star Wars, Darth Maul would easily go to S tier. But since it just comes to the Phantom Menace, Darth Maul is, I mean, he was just there to look cool and have a really good fight with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon at the end of the Phantom Menace. So, I mean, he looks cool. Ray Park did a great job doing some performance for Darth Maul with the final fight in the Phantom Menace. But ultimately, Maul just had like 2 or 3 lines in the Phantom Menace, and that was it. So it actually pains me to put Maul, like not anything below A tier. I'll put Maul in C tier based on the movies. Uh, who I don't remember who this guy is. Actually, yeah. Now think of it, I think he was the guy that told Obi-Wan about Kamino, but I don't remember his name. So I mean, I put him at the don't remember category. Next, you have Dooku. Dooku could have been a better portrayed character. But in terms of the prequel villains, I would consider him to be the strongest out of the bunch. But that's also not saying much since all the prequel villains weren't really written that well. But if you really think about it, like Dooku is ultimately right. Like the Jedi were like not the smart to see Darth Sidious, aka Palpatine, sitting right across from it, and he tried to tell Obi-Wan that, but Obi-Wan didn't believe him. So in the end, Dooku is ultimately right, and Dooku is like he was like he was a great duelist as well, and he took on Anakin and Obi Wan with ease. So I put Dooku at C tier. I mean, he definitely could have been a better written character, but in terms of intentions, I mean, he was ultimately right at the end when you look at it. Next, you have Kit Fisto. I mean, he didn't do anything in the movie, so I know we're gonna get a lot of criticism for this, but Kit Fisto is gonna go to F. Like I said, I'm strictly talking about movies and not the Clone Wars as well. Plo Koon, same thing, goes to F. Aayla Secura, F. Ki-Adi-Mundi, I mean, I think Ki-Adi-Mundi did. I mean, he obviously has the iconic line, "What about the droid attack on the Wookiees?" So, and because of that, I put him at D tier. Like I said, these characters are not bad in terms of Clone Wars, but since we're just talking about the movies, I mean, they didn't do anything. Newt Gunray, F. He's just like very unlikable. Jango Fett now is obviously like the father of Boba Fett and the biological template for the clone army. But so Jango Fett, if you really look at it, is pretty essential to the story. But I mean, like same thing with Qui Gon. He was only one movie, and he was killed by Mace Windu. So I mean, since he was the template of the clone army, so the clone army wouldn't exist without him. Put Jango at C tier. Young Boba, I mean, now technically Young Boba is a repeat character since clearly we have Boba Fett here. So but I'm actually going to rank Young Boba Fett differently since I do consider them to be two completely different characters. So, I mean, Young Boba Fett was just annoying. I mean, he didn't do much, so he goes to F. Commander Cody, I mean, he was Obi-Wan's right-hand man, and he ultimately executed Order 66 on Obi-Wan, so I put Commander Cody at C tier as well. Next, we have Anakin's mom. She didn't really do much. I mean, she was killed in the Attack of the Clones by the Tusken Raiders, so, I mean, like I said, she didn't really do much, so I'll put her at D tier. Uh, who? I don't. I mean, I know who he is, but I just can't remember his name. He's like the leader of the Geonosian species, so put him at F tier. This is the some of these characters I'm gonna forget their names. So this is the guy who was smarter than Jar Jar the Phantom Menace, and like he really should have led the army instead of he and Jar Jar together. So put him at D tier. I don't remember who that is. Don't remember who that is. Don't remember this Wookiee. Next, we have Watto, Anakin's master when he was a slave in the Phantom Menace, and he made a brief appearance in Attack of the Clones as well. So, I mean, he was just a jerk to Anakin, and pretty much just like a jerk to everyone as well, including Qui-Gon. So, it was a D tier. Uh, Jar Jar's leader, F. The Queen who was supposed to fakely represent Padme, she didn't do much, so goes to D. Sebulba also put a D. uh I don't remember his name, but this is the guy who succeeded, who was the predecessor of Palpatine in the as the Supreme Chancellor. I mean, he didn't do much, so I mean, I also don't remember him at all in the movie, so he goes to don't remember. I don't remember who that is. I mean, Luke. I mean, Luke Skywalker. I mean, he's the original. He's the main character of the original movies. I mean, he was. I mean, he's Luke Skywalker. S tier. Leia. I. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like Leia as much as other people do. I mean, she was good in New Hope. But when it comes to Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, I just felt like she was just, not that good of a character. Like I said, this is just my opinion, but I know a lot of people differ from me. So put Leia at B tier. Oh no, not A tier. B tier. Han. I mean, he's Han. Goes to A. Vader. S. I don't need to explain why Vader goes to S. Next, you have C-3PO. Now, C-3PO, in my eyes, is the most overrated character in all of Star Wars, even more than Boba Fett. Because you really think about it, with a few exceptions, like Rise of Skywalker when he ultimately had his memory wiped to get the Sith encoding, and with a few other exceptions, C-3PO is just there and he just talks and he's honestly just annoying. I mean, I understand like why people like him so much because he can be a likable character, but to me, he's extremely overrated. So I put 3PO at C tier, and I also think I'm being generous with that as well. I mean, old Obi-Wan, I mean, same thing. I mean, goes to the repeat category. Now, Emperor Palpatine goes to A tier. He was a mastermind behind the entirety of the first 6 movies. He orchestrated the Clone Wars. He ultimately brought the Fall of the Jedi, the Rise of the Empire, and he also persuaded Anakin to join the dark side, and then ultimately create Darth Vader. Now, he was brought back in the Rise of Skywalker, but it just didn't work out. Just wasn't executed well at all. So Palpatine goes to A tier, and if he wasn't in Rise of Skywalker, I would honestly put him at S tier because I also think Rise of Skywalker in a way hurts him. Next, we have Admiral Akbar, who is, in my opinion, another overrated character. Now, I know he has the iconic line, "It's a trap," but other than that, people, if he was just there talking, I don't think fans would care for him that much. So, plus he was killed off screen in The Last Jedi as well, which I didn't even know at the time. So I'll put Admiral Akbar at C tier. Young Anakin, I'm going to make the same exception like I did with Young Boba. I'm also going to rank Young Anakin. I mean, Young Anakin. I actually don't. I think Young Anakin gets too much criticism for what he is for Phantom Menace because I mean he is a child, so I mean people were too harsh on him, but at the same time he wasn't all that good either. So unlike Young Boba, I am going to put Young Anakin at D tier as well. Next we have I think that's Wedge. Yeah, that's Wedge. So I mean Wedge he helped Luke destroy the Death Star. I mean he was at the Battle of Hoth and he ultimately helped destroy the second Death Star. So put Wedge at C tier. Uh, think this was Luke's friend. I mean, he was only in the movie, so one movie. He was ultimately killed at the end, so put him. I'll be nice to put him at C tier. Baze Malbus from Rogue One. He was the guy who was from friends with Donnie, who was companions with Donnie Yen's character. I mean, they didn't really give him much depth, but he was still a cool character nonetheless. So put him at C tier. BB-8. Now, I actually like BB-8 a lot more than other people do. I mean, he's an enjoyable character. I mean, obviously he's the replacement to R2D2, which is one of the things I don't like. But overall, I think people also hate on BB-8 too much. But he's enjoyable. He has some good moments, and he can be funny at times. So I'll put BB-8 at B tier. Next, we have Woody Harrelson's character. I think his name was Beckett. Yeah, it's Beckett from Solo. So I mean, he was Han's. I mean, like boss smuggling partner. I'm not really sure what to call him. He was only killed at the end by Han Solo. I mean, I knew he was gonna betray Han. Like you said, like don't never trust anyone. Like I knew he was gonna betray Han. So put Woody Harrelson's character from Solo at D tier. Aunt Beru. I mean, she helped raise Luke. I mean, put her at C tier. I mean, she's nothing anything special, but she's also like not one of the worst characters ever. Jabba's aide F. Boba Fett. Just like C-3PO, Boba Fett is the second most overrated Star Wars character behind C-3PO. But the reason I say Boba Fett is not as overrated as C-3PO is that Boba Fett actually does stuff in the movie. Like he tracks down the Millennium Falcon, in Cloud City, and ultimately takes Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt. So because of that, put Boba at C tier as well. I don't. He's from Rogue One, but I don't remember what his name is. Bosk, he didn't do anything in Empire Strikes Back. He had one line, and that was it. So F. Lando, I mean, Lando was nice. He had charisma. I mean, Billy D. Williams portrayed him well, but I mean, he's not like Han or Luke or anything like that. So put Lando at B tier. Cassian, I mean, he was cool in Rogue One, and he's getting his own TV show, so hopefully they'll elevate him as a character. But as of right now, with his character just from Rogue One, put him at C tier. Chewie, I mean, A tier. I mean, he's Chewie. What's there not to like about Chewie? Donnie, I don't remember his name, but this is the guy that Donnie Yen plays in Rogue One. Now he was actually really cool, and he was one of the few characters that actually did get some sort of development in Rogue One as well. So because we got another perspective of like the Force and like the Jedi and the Sith that we never got before, so that was really interesting. So put Donnie Yen's character at B tier as well. Carrie Fisher's daughter, I mean, she didn't really do anything in the movies. I mean, except help Poe do a mutiny with against Holdo. So I mean, like I said, she didn't do anything. I mean, it wasn't really the actor's fault. So put her at D tier. Uh, Benicio del Toro's character F. I mean, there's not much to say about him. This person's from Solo. I don't remember who she is. Next, we go to Finn. Now, Finn had so much potential in the sequel trilogy. And we're talking about The Force Awakens. Finn's actually a really, really interesting character. So if we're talking about Force Awakens Finn, I would easily put him at B, maybe even A tier. But the problem with Finn is comes with The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. Pretty much like both movies, like Finn's subplot in Last Jedi was ultimately useless because they get caught on the Snoke Star Destroyer, and then when they get back to the Resistance, they're pretty much like get right back where they started, and they're in an even worse spot than when they were. Then Rise of Skywalker, pretty much just screens Rey all the time. So Finn, I mean, it is a real shame that John Boyega's character is wasted like that. But since The Force Awakens set him up to be an interesting character, I'm gonna put Finn at C. Next we have Mad Mikkelsen's character from Rogue One. I think he played Jyn Erso's dad, so I mean he designed the Death Star. I mean he ultimately didn't want to do it, but in Rogue One he specified that at least he could do it and like try to stop it with put in the iconic like plot hole there, which is ultimately solved. So I mean put him at D tier. Greedo now. Greedo was only in A New Hope for less than 5 minutes in the iconic Who Shot First scene with Han and Greedo. Other than that, Greedo didn't do anything. So I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this as well, but Greedo goes to F. Young Han repeats. Old Han repeats. Vice Admiral Holdo F. I mean, she never explained Poe her plan, and when she tells Leia, I mean, the thing is, they just never told Poe her plan, and if she just told Poe her plan, Poe probably would have mutinied against her. Hux F. He was some cool in The Force Awakens, but he's ultimately a joke in The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker as well. This droid IG it's not IG-11, IG-88 goes to F. Jabba the Hutt. Put now Jabba. I mean, I like Jabba in Return of the Jedi. It was nice that we got to see like the underworld and like the scum and villainy on Tatooine that we haven't seen yet in Star Wars during the original trilogy. So, but Jabba at C tier. Bail Organa. I mean, he wasn't in the originals at all, but I mean in the prequels. I mean he was good in the prequels, and he made a cameo in Rogue One for a couple scenes. So, but Bail Organa at C tier. Jyn Erso. I mean, she and Cassian ultimately got the Death Star plans out, and she was also an interesting character as well. So I put Jyn Erso at B tier. K2SO. I mean, funniest droid I've ever seen, and I mean, I felt the thing is, spoiler alerts, when K2SO ultimately died, I felt more emotion for when K2SO died than when Luke Skywalker died in Last Jedi. So I put K2SO at B tier as well. Krennic. Now I think Krennic's honestly a little underrated. I mean, he didn't, even though he didn't get much character development. I mean, we can understand like where his motivation come from. Like he just like wanted to get this Death Star project finished. Like obviously he had Tarkin bringing down his back, he had Vader bringing down his back. Like he was just like a really stressed out guy, and he just like wanted to get it done and avoid all these rebel cruises at all costs. So put Krennic at C tier as well. Kylo Ren. Now Kylo Ren is the main villain of the sequel trilogy, and in my opinion, the saving grace of the sequel trilogy because when it comes to sequel trilogy, it's very inconsistent, but Kylo Ren is one of the few elements that is consistent throughout the entire movies. He's been consistent he's always been conflicted between the dark and the light. He's not sure which way to go, and he's always has a lot of conflict to the side of him. So, because of that, I'm gonna put Kylo at A tier. Actually, no. I'm going to move Kylo up to S. I think Kylo is worthy of S tier. And the thing that puts him at S tier is that Adam Driver's acting is just so good in all the sequel trilogy. Like if we had another Hayden Christensen for Kylo Ren, he would be lower. This is Lando's co-pilot. I mean, F. Young Lando, repeats. Old Leia, repeats. I This is the guy who was like Lando's aide in Cloud City. I don't remember him. Old Luke, repeats. Maz Kanata. Now, Maz could have been a very interesting character, but I mean, in Last Jedi, I mean, in Rise of Skywalker, she didn't do anything. Plus, she never really explained how Maz got Luke's lightsaber anyway, which was a big plot hole that I just wish got answered because that's something I actually really like to know. So I'm gonna put Maz at D tier. Uh, Nub, Nine Nub, or AKA Pancake Face by a lot of people. I mean, he helped Lando destroy the second Death Star, and he was in the sequel trilogy battles. So put Nub at. Uh, I'll put Nub at C tier. I feel a little generous today. This is a Jabba's slave girl before she got eaten by the Rancor. I mean, uh, put her at F tier. She didn't do anything. I mean, Uncle Owen. I mean, he was a jerk to Luke. I mean, obviously, like, I mean, he tried to protect Luke because he obviously, like he knew like Luke wanted to join the Imperial Academy. At the same time, he also knew the truth about Vader being Luke's father. So that's the reason like why he kept on stalling Luke on and on and on, so he wouldn't be discovered. So I mean, he did have good intentions, but I mean, he was kind of a jerk at the same time. So put him at C tier. I don't remember who that is. Phasma, F. Poe, same thing with Finn. I like Poe in The Force Awakens, but Last Jedi and somewhat of Rise of Skywalker, I didn't really like him as much. I've got a little more backstory with Poe in Rise of Skywalker that he was also a spice runner before he joined the Resistance. But other than that, he didn't really get much development. So just like Finn, put Poe at C. This was Han Solo's girl from Solo. I don't remember her name. I mean, put her at C tier. I don't remember him. The Rancor that goes to now the Rancor and also the Starlight Pit. They're gonna go in the don't know category. I'll just do that now. Mainly because they're creatures and not characters, so I really can't consider them creatures since they're also like they're not characters, they're creatures. Rey is without doubt one of the most controversial characters in all of Star Wars. Some people love her, some people despise her. I mean, I'm kind of indifferent about her. I think she was, I mean, she has some good scenes. Like in The Last Jedi, she does have some good scenes. Her dynamic with Kylo and also Luke was good, but ultimately she just wasn't that well written character, and ultimately she was boring. And I didn't really care for her that much. So, but Rey at C tier. I'll be nice. I don't remember this monkey-like creature. Saul Guerrera. He was only in Rogue One, but just talking Rogue One. Put him at D tier. This Jabba's monkey thing that goes into I'm probably consider that the creature category as well. Don't remember him. Snoke F. Snoke is also a wasted character. He was Seb Solo in The Force Awakens, but Rian Johnson decided to kill him off for whatever reason in The Last Jedi, and really set up 9 so poorly with no major villain. Tarkin was what now Tarkin was what Hux should have been. Like Hux really should have been the new Tarkin, like intimidating, like not messing around, but ultimately that wasn't the case. So Tarkin, I mean, played by Peter Cushing, he was one of the few people that Darth Vader took orders from. So that also says like how powerful he was within the Empire. I just wish he didn't die in A New Hope, but I mean that's not really, like George Lucas' fault as well because they didn't know like where, how successful Star Wars would be. So I'll put Tarkin not at C tier. I'll put Tarkin at B tier. This Kaminoan goes to F. Rose F. Shakti F. This character from Revenge of the Sith F. This guy F. Don't remember her. Dryden Voss from Solo. I mean, I just wish some Dryden Voss was in Solo more because I mean, the main villain with Solo was like time was their main villain. They just like gotta get their coaxium shipment before time runs out to Dryden. So if Dryden had more of a presence in Solo, I think it'd be a little higher. But I'm gonna put Dryden at D tier. Wampa goes to the don't know since it's a creature. Ewok, put it at don't know as well. I don't remember him. This is the monkey thing from Rise of Skywalker that ultimately like wipes C-3PO's memory. So put it at D. I don't remember him. Old Lando goes in repeats. Um, Now I think this guy's name is General Pride. So this General Pride was also what Hux should have been. Like if General Pride was in Force Awakens or Rise of Skywalker, like he was like if he was in there, he could have been a good character. And he was also be ruthless as well because he just like executed Hux right then and there when he found out that he was a spy. So Pride tried to make up for Hux, and the actor I think had a good time with it as well, but he just wasn't in it enough to put it higher than C tier. Zori Bliss, I mean, she was only in Rise of Skywalker, didn't get any development at all. I mean, she did have the backstory of Poe, but I mean, that's pretty much it. So it goes to D. Uh, Jana is her name. I mean, she had some good, interaction with Finn, but like same thing with Zori Bliss. She was also just introduced in Rise of Skywalker, so put her at D as well. Uh, Dio, I don't know where I'd rank him. I don't. Is this no? Is that Mon Mothma? I mean, yeah, I think that is Mon Mothma. So talk about Mon Mothma. I think she goes to C tier. I mean, she helped create the rebellion. Like she was at the end, like when the Empire was defeated, Return of the Jedi. I mean, she was there as well. And I don't remember who this character is. Well, guys, that's gonna be my tier list for all the major Star Wars characters ranked. Let me know if you agree or disagree, but leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.